Hello guys, my name is NaToSaphiX and today we have another episode, and this time it is Diary of a CSGO MasterBetter, and well, today we have loads of bets, but are there any good ones? That is the question I'm going to be answering right now. We've first of all got TSM Penta. TSM, solid squad. Penta, not so solid. They've made a lot of roster changes lately, and they haven't been playing much, so I think it's a pretty safe TSM bet. I'm going to avoid this one though, because I usually don't bet on 80% plus teams. Second game, Mouse Sports versus Virtus Pro. It's on a random map. Well, it's on 2 random maps. It's best of 2. And I just don't feel like Mouse can win it. But at the same time, I don't want to bet on Virtus Pro because the odds are too high. Publicia versus Lions. Gonna avoid this one. I don't know Lions. LGB versus Fnatic. I do see LGB with a slight chance of winning, but then again, you know, it's Fnatic. It's a best of 1 though, and sometimes that can provide upsets. 16% for LGB is probably a bit too low, but I don't think they'll win. Therefore, I'm going to stay away. TSM Penta. Now, this is the second game, and these two games are essentially identical. The map is not known, and so the odds should be exactly the same. They are not. Penta here have 26%, where TSM have 74%. And therefore, I might be placing 1 or 2 keys on TSM just to bang myself some easy coinage, because I do believe that they will win it. But I'm not going to place them yet, because they're going to be playing at 1800 hours, and whatever the outcome of this game is will change the odds on this game. So don't want to, like, let's say TSM win 16-0, right? It's probably not going to happen. But if it does, Penta's odds will probably go down to something like 10%. And if they do that, I don't want to bet on TSM, because then 90% is way too high, and I don't want to do that. So I would just be waiting to see the outcome of the first game. That is a really nice thing to do. I do this a lot when there's some, like, for example, Mouse Sports. They're going to be playing versus Virtus Pro. If I want to bet on Mouse Sports versus GD Well Played, I first of all want to, like, watch this game, or the one up here, to make sure that I know that Mouse Sports are on point, because CSGO teams usually have days where they are good and days where they are bad, and it's usually that if they start off a day bad, they'll play bad the whole day. And so if you get a good start, you can most likely, you know, play well. Existence versus Kick. Might be placing on Kick, still not quite sure about this one. We'll be doing more research. It was postponed from yesterday, where I decided not to bet, but I might today. G2 versus Orbit. Feel the odds are pretty accurate, and what I don't really like to do is bet on games with accurate odds, simply because, you know, you can't play the odds, you can only play the game, so you can pick the winner, but you can't really play the odds in any way, and therefore you can bag yourself a lot of easy value. But again, where I feel you can play the odds is Monarchs. Monarchs have played 4 games on HLTV and lost them all. They've got Solek, who is a former, like, he's not German, he's from Switzerland, but he's a German top player in the sense that he's played in a lot of great German teams. He never really was good enough, you know. He's kind of the guy who's always been on the edge of being good, and I think he still is on that edge. Monarchs haven't really been shown anything. Peter, fairly good. They got, well, I think Orbit was in front 9-1, but they still ended it 16-10. I feel like these are much better than Monarchs. Even though I haven't watched Monarchs, I feel pretty safe in this bet, and I will most likely be placing. Titan versus Navi. Thinking about placing on this one. I've actually made some real money betting on this one. It's on Inferno, a map which I feel neither team is really good on. Flamey is kind of a beast. Kenny S is kind of a beast. Titan showed up on SLTV, the LAN. They're really good. Navi, also pretty fucking good. Beat TSM. But Kenny S didn't step up on the LAN, and if they don't have Kenny S with them for this Inferno, and Flamey just plays his game, I think Navi will win, and therefore I feel the odds are actually fairly good. Playing Dogs versus G2. Can't see anybody but G2 win this. Should be easy value, but again, don't go for 80% teams. Navi vs Titan, it's on DOS 2. Could definitely also see Navi winning this one, but again, it's one of those games where I want to see the outcome of the first game before I bet on the next one. Virtus Pro versus Mouse, it's a best of 1. It is, well, it is a random map again, I do believe, and I think I'm just going to stay away from this one as well, you know. pretty accurate odds, but it's probably going to be easier to see after the best of two has ended. Mousebots versus GD, well played. Should be Mousebots. I've got real money on this one, so hoping that this lands. Not much, but just a bit. And I think they'll definitely win. I don't know Divine. I'll probably put up money on this one. Divine, don't know them, so I'm gonna avoid this one. Next, please. Never really watched them play. Want to avoid this one. C-Play versus Ducks. Pretty accurate odds. Gonna avoid that one. Penta, don't see them beating Fnatic. Gonna avoid that one. TSM LGB, I might bet, but it might be on LGB. We'll see how TSM play against Penta, but yeah, LGB are just like this top team that is just on the edge all the time. Kind of like Solic, but just as a team. And they've been really getting better and better and better. Now they've got Mikelele, and it's a best of one where I don't feel these odds are accurate. Monarchs, no chance of beating G2 in a lifetime, and I don't watch American games, so I'm not going to bet on any of these games. But yes, this was all of my thoughts. I know this was it's been a long time already, but there are a lot of bets to go through. Anyway, I'm going to be back with the conclusion and who I have bet on. We'll see you in the next segment, boys. Hello guys, my name is NaToSaphiX, and this is another episode of CSGO MasterBetter. Now, you're probably thinking, what the fuck is going on, and so am I. Now, not only did I somehow, and I don't know how, but I lost the audio for the conclusion that I did record, and also my Sony Vegas has been acting up lately, which means that I haven't been able to render any videos. So what I'm doing right now in this episode is I'm trying to catch up what I've kind of lost. And I'm going to do this quickly in the conclusion so it won't take too long. And then I'll, hopefully, with this video, I have gotten it back on track. As you can probably tell, I'm using Vegas, well, yeah, Sony Movie Studio Platinum now, which is something Richie, kind of recommended to me. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty well. It's pretty much Sony Vegas, but just more simple, and you can buy it on Steam, so it's really nice. I'm not, like, advertising or anything, I'm just telling you that it's nice, and it's much cheaper than the Sony Vegas. But what you will have missed, and which I also lost the audio for, is that I actually did some bets which are not which you haven't seen. Now, the conclusion, Time vs Navi, we lost that one. They went to overtime on Inferno, very close game. Navi had 15-13 and still lost, very sad. Mouse Spots, we won some decent value, which was nice. Peter Monarchs, the odds was 68 for Peter when I bet, and they changed to 91%, so that was pretty fucking weird. So we won nothing, even though we put up 2 keys, which is really unfortunate. But Existence versus Kick, we put up a single Deagle, and it was 0.50 when we made the bet. Now, Kick took the first map, Existence took the next 2, so we lost on that, unfortunately. Ducks, we placed pretty much nothing, just playing the odds. Ducks got like 2 rounds, which was very unfortunate. And then Navi, yesterday beat Fnatic. We didn't put up very much, which was really, really stupid of me, because I even said in my bet predictions that this would be the best game of the night, and yet I've placed almost nothing. And then I placed so much on Fnatic and IP, and since the op changes are real, JW is just not the same. I should have known this. I should have at least not put up this much money when I didn't even feel that safe. But it's just really, really fucking stupid by me. Yeah, I should have just listened to my own bet predictions, really. That's all it would have took. Or taken, I mean. But yeah, that means we have still made money, but not as much as I obviously would have liked. Fnatic actually took the first 6 rounds in this, but lost the next 13 or some shit on T-side Inferno. So, like, also going on to the CT and such. So it's very unfortunate. And IP won. I don't know why. This was a brain fart, really. Didn't even follow my own predictions. But, well, I guess I did. I bet on Fnatic, but I just said that it wasn't even that safe, and I bet too much. But, let's go on to my bets. Here are my returns. Let's just calculate really quick. 0.50 plus 1.52, dun, dun, dun. Whoops. And like this, 0.4, 0.6, and and 2.57 because keys have apparently gone up, which is really weird in my opinion. So you can see we have like the Fnatic game. I mean, losing so much money on that single game was quite a bit, but we've obviously still made money and we'll be looking to build. Now, I won't be posting any MasterBetter videos from today because most of these teams I do not know. The only game I actually know is Peter. GG, well played. I feel the odds are pretty accurate. I might change my mind and actually bet on Peter, but I doubt it. And the rest of the teams, like, I don't know them at all. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I know this is a really shitty episode, kinda, but I'm just trying to get back on track because of these Sony Vegas issues and, you know, making day-to-day videos when all of a sudden your editing program doesn't want to render videos. That gets kind of hard, but hopefully we'll be on cruise control from now on, and we'll make some better videos from now on. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. NaToSaphiX, and I'll see you in the next video.